You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast, because it's a Monster Monday. We are presented by DraftKings. I'm going to let you know everything you need to know about every game yesterday, Week 5 in the National Football League. And it's a new week, which means we'll have new winners for Spread the Word winner via social media, whether that's at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod, any platform, as long as you engage in some way, and we're checking and we look, you are eligible to win some of these awesome press passes. How about this Alabama one? That thing is sweet. Or the Commanders Bears. Maybe if you're a Bears fan, first win in like a year, maybe you want that one. All you have to do is engage with us on social media at Ross Tucker NFL or at Ross Tucker Pod. Or you can take advantage of one of the sponsors that you hear on the show. We love our sponsors. We don't take them unless it's things we actually use or do. And then the YouTube shout-out's always fun, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Just looking for some people that want to get a free shout-out video from me. I'll email it to you for whoever you want to give it to. Our patron of the day is Keith, I'm going to say Ginter, as opposed to Ginter. It's Ginter. Really, there's no way to know. But I'm going to go Keith Ginter, which means it's probably Ginter. At any rate, there's a lot to get to. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross, before we get into each of the games, what were your overall themes from Week 5 in the NFL?
Well, so the first one is I just love how much the folks over in Europe love American football. It warms my heart. And I know a bunch of Bills fans traveled over there yesterday. I get that. I've been to a bunch of games over there, at least 2, I think 3. I've seen a bunch of others. Most of those people that are there, they actually come from all over the continent. I mean, it's not just the UK. I've met people from Ireland and Germany. We used to have meetups after these international games when I was calling them, which was awesome. Love that. Love all of the international folks that love American football. You know, I totally get why people like soccer. I have a deep appreciation for the passion and intensity that folks all over the globe have for soccer. I just, having played both sports, it's not even close to me which one is more enjoyable to play. And I'm glad that more people are enjoying what we have to offer. I really want more people to try it. I really want more people internationally to just put a helmet and shoulder pads on and get that feeling of running into somebody as hard as they can. It's a beautiful, pure, primal feeling. I love it. I miss it every day. It's why I do what I do as a broadcaster, podcaster, whatever. Anyway, I just love that they sell out these stadiums, Tottenham Hotspur, and there's so many fans there, all the different jerseys. I always call it a kaleidoscope of colors. Love that. You know, the other thing that jumped out to me, I guess, Jack, it wasn't even on the field. A couple of things that weren't on the field. You know, I think they both happened maybe Friday afternoon. We didn't really talk last week, did we, about Randy Gregory, you know, getting traded for peanuts to the Niners or Chase Claypool to the Dolphins. These are pick swaps, very late round pick swaps in a couple years. You know, same with J.C. Jackson, which is one we did get a chance to talk about last week. This is just when teams acquire a new player from another team, whether it's free agency like Gregory and J.C. Jackson or via trade like Claypool, and it just doesn't work out. It is a bad fit. I mean, the amount of money that the Broncos gave Gregory and the Chargers gave Jackson and the return that they got on those investments, I mean, it's enough to make you sick if you're those franchises. And it's why some people think, I know Andrew Brandt on the Business of Sports talks about this a lot. Some people talk about buyer beware when it comes to some of these contracts that gets doled out. And probably rightfully so. On the flip side, we did have a contract that got done, and this came out Saturday afternoon. Jonathan Taylor, the running back who had been on PUP for the Colts, gets a new contract. It's a 3-year deal. I think it's like $42 million overall, but it's $26.5 million guaranteed. And I'm going to make that my Labatt take of the week, presented by Labatt Blue Light, the pristine Canadian Pilsner. Enjoy your beers together so you can live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. It's called a hold-in, and it works. This is what running backs like Jonathan Taylor have to do going into their 4th year. That's when you have to do it. This is what you have to do. He didn't get fined. He didn't miss any game checks. Heck, he even has 4 games less of wear and tear on his body this year. And he got his money before he took on greater injury risk of playing this year. He got the guarantees. He got the huge upgrade and raise. Maybe it's not as much money as he wanted to, but he got the deal done before he went out there and did more damage to his body, whether it's a huge life-altering injury or career-altering injury or just more tread on the tires. Well done, Jonathan Taylor. That's a lesson for all the other running backs. Hold in. The other lesson, Jack, is that there's no reason you shouldn't be using Harry's razors. Look, I shave probably 3 times a week. Definitely Saturdays before my college games. I've got Georgia at Vanderbilt Saturday at noon on CBS, the broadcast channel, another broadcast game for me on big CBS. Looking forward to it. So I definitely shave Saturdays. And then I'll probably shave like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would say. Those are the days I shave. I love Harry's. Get the trial set. There's no reason not to. It's clear. First of all, they'll give you the trial set, which is a $13 value for just $3 at harrys.com/Ross. And it includes a 5-blade German engineered razor. Love the weighted handle. And the foaming shave gel is a must. Get a subscription that saves you time and money with Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/Ross. That's harrys.com/Ross for a $3 trial set.
All right, Ross, we'll start with Buffalo. They suffered a slew of injuries in London, losing to the Jaguars 25-20.
Disaster of a game for the Bills in every way. We'll see how long Daquan Jones is out, one of their better D tackles. Looks like they'll lose Matt Milano for the rest of the season. And everything about it stinks. It stinks when any player gets injured. It especially stinks when it's a really good player or players that get injured. And it really, really, really stinks when it's a really good player that gets injured for a really good team. And it really, 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 really stinks when all of those things are true and it's my beloved Buffalo Bills. Look, I mean, we'll talk about this more on Power Rankings tomorrow. They lost 2 of their 3 or 4 best defensive players. It's already hard enough as it is. They already have struggled to get to the AFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl, with those guys several of these years. The Jags jumped on the Bills early. Zay Jones had that awesome touchdown catch. It did feel like the Bills were sleepwalking through the first half until that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half for the Diggs touchdown. Still thought Josh Allen actually played pretty well. Diggs played pretty well. Epinesa. Oh my goodness. The Bills needed that. Epinesa beating Cam Robinson for the strip sack at the end of the first half. Took points off the board for the Jags. In the second half, Trevor Lawrence, he's got to be better with his ball security. I mean, I thought Calvin Ridley was unguardable. ETN had some big runs, but the penalties killed the Bills. Lawrence needs to, moving forward, be better with his ball security. And yes, it did look like the Jags being out there all week compared to the Bills was an advantage, but nobody was stopping the Bills from going out there all week, right? So we all make choices, and I don't know. I don't know how much of a difference that made or didn't make, but clearly the Jags got off to a better start.
Despite a late drive from C.J. Stroud, Atlanta was able to pull it off, and they win in the closing seconds, 21-19.
Best game of his career for Desmond Ridder. And Jack, he needed it bad. I mean, he needed it real bad. There was calls to bench him. I'm happy for him. Calls to bench him. He comes out, plays the best game of his career. I don't know that it was Stroud's best game, although that crazy games without and pass without interception streak to start a career keeps going on. He set the record now, but he got it done when he had to, Jack. Late in the game, he marched the Texans down for that 2-minute drill, the go-ahead touchdown. So even in a losing effort, you kind of feel good about C.J. Stroud and what he did.
Detroit, they just steamrolled the Panthers across the board, 42-24.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know about Bryce Young right now with the way he's playing. Aiden Hutchinson was awesome. That interception he made. People don't realize he's 6'7", like 265 pounds. You're not supposed to be that agile, have that kind of dexterity, and be that athletic when you're that big. Speaking of bad picks, I don't think Trayvon Walker for the Jags is going to end up being what Aiden Hutchinson already is. Maybe he will. Bryce Young still struggling. I mean, for the Lions to roll anyway, Jack, without Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jahmyr Gibbs, really is a good sign. Laporta, 2 more touchdowns. Montgomery carried the load. The Lions are just good. I mean, they're just good at this point.
Anthony Richardson, he exits early again, but Indy's able to pull out a win, 23-16.
Well, and the news is coming down this morning that it's a grade 3 sprain of the AC joint for Anthony Richardson. Looks like he could be out up to a month. So the good news for the Colts is that they've got Gardner Minshew, who's a pretty good quarterback and has helped them win 2 games now. The bad news is this is the 3rd time he's gotten hurt already. He's only played 5 games. That has to be very concerning because the Colts, a big reason why they got him was his running ability. But even though he's so big, if he can't stay healthy, they can't run him that much. And so if he's just a pocket passer, is he ready to be able to do that at a high level? I don't know. It's crazy that Jonathan Taylor signed in his back and then Zach Moss just has an unbelievable game. For the Titans, I can't figure them out. They are up and down every week. You know, DeAndre Hopkins was great, but it feels like he was the only one. And it feels like they're almost going to him and feeding him too often. I hope down there in Nashville, where I'm going this weekend, by the way, they have some Labatt Blue Lights, not just for me, but for Titans fans after that one. Drink some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends. Live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Miami's offense, they still look like a cheat code in a 31-16 win over New York.
Right, and it could have been worse. I mean, first of all, Tua had a couple bad interceptions. And the pick 6, I saw that stat. That was the first half touchdown of the year for the Giants. The Tua pick 6. I mean, that's just sad. Still threw for over 300 yards. Achane he's got to be, I mean, I think Achane might be faster than Tyreek Hill now. The Dolphins are having a contest to see who the fastest player is in the NFL. Think about that. The Giants' offensive line continued to struggle. They're in a bad way. Daniel Jones got hurt. He's got the neck injury again. That was an issue a couple years ago. It feels like this season is almost lost before it really even got started for the G-men.
The losses continue to get worse for New England, this time a 34-0 shutout from the Saints.
This was stunning to me. Stunning. Now, I had the Saints as a teaser leg on the Even Money Betting podcast, so I thought they'd keep it close, but I thought this would be a field goal game either way. 34-0. I mean, Mac Jones has another pick six. Mac Jones benched again. Granderson, that's a good move by the Saints to extend him. Granderson was fantastic in this game as the Saints defense. I mean, to get shut out at home, it's getting ugly, really ugly right now in New England. I don't know what they can change. I don't know what they can fix. Belichick said, start over. Good luck. I mean, I guess.
Turnovers, they plague Baltimore once more. They lose to the Steelers 17-10.
I'm going to make the Steelers my fourth quarter team of the week. In football, the fourth quarter is where games are won. And in business, it's where many deals are closed. That's why this week's fourth quarter pick is brought to you by HubSpot Sales Hub. That's where you close your deals. The Steelers, Jack, closed this game out in the fourth quarter, just like HubSpot does. Look, they were not good for most of this game. I mean, I joked that they needed 3 more safeties on special teams or defense to get the lead. But in the fourth quarter, you had the Joey Porter Jr. interception, terrific play against Odell Beckham Jr., a throw that you cannot make if you're Lamar Jackson. But Joey Porter Jr., by the way, should be playing more. And then the throw from Pickett to Pickens, who they should give the ball to even more, for the go-ahead touchdown. Awesome. TJ Watt closes it out. Just a really impressive fourth quarter by the Steelers, who needed it because the Ravens really dominated the rest of the action. It's a bad, bad loss for Baltimore. Again, second one in 3 weeks.
Are the Bengals back, Ross? Jamar Chase had a record-breaking performance during their 34-20 win against the Cardinals.
Well, they looked back in the sense that that's the healthiest Burrow has looked in a long, long time. I mean, he looked healthy. Not only did he play well, but I don't know if you saw that one scramble where he ran for like 12 yards and got the first down. That might be. I know I'm at times prone to hyperbole, but that might be one of the most significant plays of the season, just because it means that Burrow is healthy or healthy enough to move around or run and do something like that and not re-aggravate the calf. And if Burrow is healthy and with the Bengals getting that win, that gives them a chance to get back in this thing. It probably helps the Bengals that the Ravens lost, right? I mean, the Ravens had such a golden opportunity, Jack, to pull away in this division, and they just haven't been able to do it. And now they're only a game ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're tied with the Steelers. It's so jumbled up now in the AFC North that even though the Bengals started so poorly, nobody was able to get any type of separation. Obviously, you mentioned it. How did the Cardinals let that happen? T. Higgins didn't play. So T. Higgins doesn't play. You're playing against the Bengals. Well, who would you cover, Jack?
I would attempt to at least try to cover Jamar Chase, throw 3 bodies at him.
I mean, Jonathan Gannon, I think he's a good coach. I think he gets much maligned in Philly unfairly. But Jonathan, JG, please, are you kidding me? I mean, you can't let the other team's best player, especially when the second best player is hurt, you can't let him have 15 catches. 15 catches. Unbelievable. And the thing is if the Cardinals had a better plan, they would have been right there. They were hanging around, actually, They had the lead. It was 14-10 until Dobbs threw that pick six, which the game totally changed after that.
Philly shuts down LA's offense entirely in the second half en route to their 23-14 victory.
Really, really good sign for new Eagles defensive coordinator Sean Desai. Because in the first half, it felt like Desai did not have any answers for Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and that Rams offense. He made some changes. He rotated some guys through. It felt like Bradley Roby did a better job covering in the slot than some of the other guys that the Eagles used out there. So that's a good signing to bring him in because it looks like he's really going to be able to help them. I mean, Kupp and Nacua both had big days, but that was primarily in the first half. It's uncanny how good Cooper Kupp is, his ability to get open the way he does. But the Eagles kind of took over. I mean, it's funny because I do this Ross report now every day talking about the Eagles for like a minute or less. And all the talk about the Eagles was that, Hurts hasn't been able to run very well. They're not getting Goddard involved. And then out come the Eagles with a huge game for Goddard, with Hurts running much better. Quez Watkins is a concern for the Eagles. Jalen Carter remains a monster. Hurts did have that one bad interception, which kept the score closer. But then how about Hassan Reddick, back-to-back sacks to essentially end the game?
Denver just can't hack it out there, losing 31-21 to the Jets.
Nice. How much time did you spend thinking about that? Was that a spur of the moment thing right there, or was that something you thought about last night or this morning?
When I was writing the game recap liners last night, it came to me very quickly, but I did prep it ahead of time. I had to have some sort of pun for it.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. Listen, if the game goes to timeout, if it's time to order on DoorDash. If it's halftime, it's ordering time. 2-minute warning, you got it. It's your cue to order in. Get everything you want delivered while you root for your squad. That means burgers, fries, drinks, you name it. And if you have a Dash Pass membership, you can get the new Wendy's Loaded Nacho Cheeseburger delivered. Yep, right now the Loaded Nacho Cheeseburger is exclusively available with Dash Pass at participating U.S. Wendy's for a limited time. You know what? I still can't believe the Jets didn't score any points at the end of the first half. Disastrous end of first half situations for a bunch of teams. Colts, Ravens, Jets. You have to get points there. Almost cost them. Breece Hall is lightning. Zach Wilson kind of had an up and down game. Russell Wilson did as well, but Russell Wilson's not going to be the Broncos quarterback next year. I mean, that's kind of like my big takeaway from them so far this year.
Minnesota stumbles to 1-4 following a 27-20 loss to the Chiefs at home.
And they were right there again. Minnesota just can't seal the deal this year like they did last year. Travis Kelce got hurt, but then he came back and was able to score what ultimately ended up being the game-winning touchdown. I thought maybe the biggest play of the game was Mahomes threw what was going to be a pick, and Justin Watson, my Ivy League compadre, came flying out of nowhere to take the ball away from the safety and make a catch, and the Chiefs went down to score. That was huge. The Chiefs, the Vikings were able to move the ball, but unable to score late after they got to 27-20. Questionable non-call on the pass interference, and I think it was L'Jarius Sneed taking his helmet off.
San Francisco continues to run over anybody in sight, this time Dallas in a 42-10 dominant win.
Well, they are playing at a super, super high level right now. They just marched on the first drive. Really good combo of the run and the pass. Kittle obviously had a gigantic evening. I love watching the Niners linebackers. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, it's like they're operating at a different speed than everybody else on the field. It's awesome. McCaffrey even fumbled. And the Niners still won like this, which he never does. They had the razzle-dazzle for the touchdown to Kittle. You know, the Cowboys at least answered with the Dak throw to Turpin, and they got that field goal, but it's too little, too late. Purdy was great. Dak started throwing picks late. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out to myfrontpagestory.com. The best gift you could ever give a loved one, birthday, anniversary, holidays coming up. Get them the front page keepsake story that they'll live and love for the rest of their life. Backofficeschedule.com, go-bengals.com, steakhousesports.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing.